Let me check my down detector here.
No, okay, I'm in. I'm back into YouTube here. What?
What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh, Xbox Live is down for sure. Looks like there's an increase.
No.
There's an increase in Instagram, Facebook, Minecraft, Halo. Coinbase is doing well. Less happening there. Hold on, let me see here. Those are the top things down right now in Down Detector. YouTube looks like it's fine.
Oh, it's fine. I got it going here. I don't know. Maybe it's back up or something.
I think it's back because it looks like we're connected again.
Yeah, a lot of people saying, "What happened? What happened? What happened?"
I don't know.
We're back. We're back, guys. Settle down. Settle down. I don't know what that was.
So yeah, anyway, there was another source here that is a little more explicit about the role of Gavi and the Vaccine Alliance, Global Health Agency, Unitide, and Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, and add COVID to that because, that's how it is. And that's part of the job of Sanofi. I'm going to talk about Sanofi real quick here. This is Sanofi.com. This is a press release on October 7th, 2021. Sanofi, positive results from the first study of high-dose influenza vaccine with a COVID-19 mRNA booster support co-administration recommendations. So there you go. Get your flu shot and your booster.
Yeah.
Same time.
Well, it is interesting. Literally, I've heard almost nothing about any vaccine except for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yep.
And suddenly, over the past month, we start hearing about these huge new developments in the flu vaccine, of course, this malaria vaccine, and it really tracks with what we've been hearing from the medical industry, which is all about vaccines. All the money. I mean, you have officers at these pharmaceutical companies saying vaccines are the future of health. It's all about vaccines.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we've been seeing ever since the COVID-19 vaccine. It's almost used as just PR for all vaccines ever. Even with this malaria vaccine, you're getting 30% efficacy, and they're talking about, saving 10,000 African children a year. Look, that's great. I want to save as many African children as possible. But, 2 years ago, before COVID, you say you've been working on a vaccine for 30 years and you're getting 30% efficacy. It just is not that exciting.
Hey, you know what? 30 years, 30% efficacy compared to 8 months, 95%. Come on, mRNA.
They whipped up COVID, whatever it is, Comirnaty in 40 days. 40 days after the lockdown started.
It's a new era of vaccine development. It's just jab first and then ask questions later.
It's definitely an interesting narrative being propagated.
We'll talk about that. We have the clips of Fauci in the next segment here. But, Alex Jones released that footage from 2019, just days before Event 201 took place, of Fauci and the BARDA guy, and they're discussing how we're going to convince the public of the vaccines and all this kind of. We have those clips, but notice how that gets released at the same time. The mainstream is sort of shifting into like, we got all the mandates out, all right, so we got it. We're done with that. So now let's tie the vaccine and start to co-opt the vaccine conversation to the flu thing, which was what we pumped on steroids these last 2 years, but let's dial it back a little bit. I think we got what we needed out of it. So very interesting, the timing of it all.
Well, I want to hear those clips. So why don't we take a quick break and then we'll get into a clip fest.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
Okie dokie, folks. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because after the break, we're going to be talking about the pandemic special, and it's going to be a clip fest. All sorts of very interesting things coming to light, so don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it. But before that, I want to draw your attention, dear listener, to the fact that we have no advertisements, no affiliate codes, not selling any mail enhancements, supplements, or freedom phones. That's because we are on the value for value model, which is very simple. We create the value, we do it 3 times a week, and we try our very darndest at it. And if you get any value out of what we do, you have the opportunity or the responsibility to put value back in. And it's the only way the show keeps going. And it's because we've dedicated ourselves to avoiding the pitfalls of the advertising industry, where a nice company will come along. They'll say, hey, nice show, kid. You got nice numbers, kid. You want to make some money on that podcast of yours? And then if you're...
That's exactly how it happens, by the way.
That's exactly what they
pull
sound
up in
like,
front of the
too.
house with in their 1920s.
You know, you're walking down the streets. You're drinking a malt soda that you got from the corner store, and you walk by an alleyway, and you hear, "Psst, hey, kid." And then a man in a trench coat comes out, and he opens his trench coat, and you're a little afraid for a second, but no, he's wearing pants. But inside that trench coat, he's lined the inside of his coat with advertisements that you can use to make money. Make money, kid. You want to make some money? All you got to do is gain the trust and attention of tens of thousands of people on the internet. And then you take that trust and attention and you sell it to me, see? And we take that and we use it to subtly, psychologically manipulate them into spending money on things that they don't want or need. That's right. We'll promise them freedom. We'll promise them happiness. We'll promise to fill that lonely hole inside their heart with all sorts of products and services, and all you got to do is tell them that it'll play the advertisement on your podcast, and then you can be rich, kid. You can be rich. Well, too many independent media producers have fell for it, folks. And we've tried our best to not do that here. No, We take no corporate money, no advertisements, no Twitch money, no YouTube money, no nothing. We're keeping our hands clean and free as much as we can from corporate influence, because you don't want corporate influence on your independent media producers. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Well, we're no better than CNN or Fox or Viacom or whoever. And so that's why we're on the value for value model, which only works when you, dear listener, decide you want to become a producer.
I just wanted to bring to light, as part of the value for value thing here, there was an article on Oklahoma's News 4, K4.com, consumer alert to how surveillance advertising is tracking you. And I have a couple clips from it here. This first one, just to show that what we've been saying for, I don't know, the entirety of Canary Cry radio, news talk, all that stuff. Mainstream news now.
Surveillance advertising. Maybe you've looked up something online or even talked about it with friends, and then suddenly related ads are popping up as you scroll online or on your phones. Is this an invasion of your privacy or just smart marketing? Joining us via Zoom is Susan Grant from the Consumer Federation of America. Well, you know, it can make you feel so paranoid to see these targeted ads pop up. So exactly how are we being tracked?
Well, you probably should be paranoid because all of this is happening without your knowledge or consent. And there are many ways that you can be tracked. Consumers are probably familiar with cookies that can be placed on their browsers to identify their computer when they visit various websites. But there's fingerprinting and a number of other techniques that can identify the computer or other device that you're using and distinguish it from somebody else's device.
Okay, so they sell that data to so they're aware. Okay, this is public now. Everybody knows about it. The documentaries, everything else. Listen for what they don't promote as part of the solutions here. And it kind of starts off talking about discrimination. Of course, the level of conversation taking place with the mainstream is still very much in the race war here.
Beyond your privacy, what's the potential for the surveillance advertising,
or class warfare, I guess,
to also be really a source of discrimination?
Well, that's one of the main concerns. You are profiled based on all of this information that is collected about you, which may or may not accurately describe you. And you may therefore be presented with ads for employment or housing or credit that other people are not presented with. You may be treated in a certain way, for instance, charged more for something than somebody else because they figured out that you might be good for more. So there are lots of ways that this can be used to consumers' detriment.
Yeah, and can we avoid this tracking and profiling? Is that complicated to do?
I wish I could say that it was easy to do this. You can clear cookies, and you can use ad blockers, and you can use what are called global privacy controls to send signals that you don't want to be tracked. All of these may be helpful to some extent, but there are so many different ways that you can be tracked, and new ways coming along all the time, and it's really hard to know whether any of these efforts that you've made are successful. A lot of times it's the honor system, whether the company that's tracking you will even obey the signal that you're sending.
So one thing she doesn't mention here is to simply not use all those sources, and also just support value for value systems that are out there, because it really is, it sidesteps this entire problem. If you control what, where you want your support to go, or the whole idea of producers, it's completely outside of this system. And we decided not to feed off of that beast, which a lot of people do. And, some people, I get it. I understand. You got to make a living. But we chose not to do that. So I think it's important to point out what we're not doing and what we're not participating in.
Well, and consent is a big part of it, too. They kind of touched on the consent aspect of it, which is advertisers don't care about your consent. You don't consent to be advertised to. You barely consent to have your data collected and used against you. But the value for value model is like the ultimate consent model. You do not pay a thing unless you consent to it, unless you go through the process of becoming a producer of the show. And some people respect that. Some others might not even have thought about it until this exact moment. But, it is, if nothing else, I believe it's the most respectful way to our listeners and our people to do the show. And we say it all the time, and some people get all flustered about it and think we're threatening them. The fact of the matter is, if the producers stop producing, then the show stops getting produced. It's that simple. Again, that's not a threat. It's just the reality of the situation. Yeah. And so that's why we like to thank our producers, and we're going to thank them now. These are people who finally realized that it was time to put some value back into the process that they get so much value out of every week, multiple times a week. And that's why we thank them here on the show. Are you ready, Gonzo?
Ready to go.
First way to do that is you can head over to patreon.com/CCNT. That's patreon.com/CCNT. And at last glance, Gons, we had one producer over there, and that is producer Douglas P., who upgraded his producership.
Thank you, Douglas P., for the upgrade.
Thank you very much, Douglas P. That's it for the Patreon. But don't worry, if you don't like Patreon, that's okay. We support you. That's why we have CanaryCry.Radio.com/support. CanaryCry.Radio.com/support. That's right. We also have CanaryCry.Party that has a become a producer button or produce now button, and that's a nice, easy way for some folks. But at CanaryCry.Radio.com/support, we've got all sorts of fun ways to support the show. If you're a cool crypto guy or gal, you can support the show with your cryptocurrency. You can make a monthly producership if you want to commit to keeping the show going on a monthly basis. And we love our monthly producers. They help lay down a firm foundation to keep the show going. But if commitment is not your thing, you can make a one-time producership in any amount. Who's coming in over there, Gons?
We're going to start off by thanking our executive producer for episode 399, and that's Derek R.
Derek R. Executive producer, Derek R. Let's hear it for him.
Executive producer, what happened to my executive button?
Oh my gosh.
You
can't lose the executive producer button, Gons. One thing Derek R., you came in right at the exact right moment. We were putting together the producer list, and the show was about to start. And we're going, oh no, we have no executive or associate executive producers. And no sooner had I said that I refreshed the page. And there you were, Derek, riding in on your white horse to save the day. And that's why this jingle is for you.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll I spent.
Thank you very much. And Derek R. Comes in. It's not a readable amount, just for an update for everybody. We usually lean towards anonymity, but if you'd like your amount read on the air, you signal that to us by putting in, some sort of special signal, like 33 cents or 11 cents, or pick a number that sort of corresponds with some sort of numerological signal to us. But if you come in with nice round numbers, we keep that anonymous for you. But thank you very much. Derek R. sends a note who says, thank you guys. This is my go-to news fix. I've been listening since Age of Deceit when I was a new Christian, and you guys are still at it. And so praise God for your faithfulness. You both portray that man from Psalm 1. Thank you again, and God bless. Well, God bless you, Derek R. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you, Derek R. Appreciate it. Appreciate the executive producership for episode 399. The next up, we have Rochelle. Rochelle. Not that Rochelle. Well, maybe that Rochelle. I doubt it, though. Rochelle comes with a snail mail here, and...
Okay.
No, I don't have... Oh, here it is.
Snail mail.
Okay, so we got a letter. Dear Canary Cry family, thank you so much for supporting our mutual friends Basil and Gons. I truly believe we are called out from the masses and unitedly oppose the elite occult running the planet. I have 2 booklets available for free at sacredwordpublishing.com/pages/free-resource. Let me put that up on the screen here, and I'll leave the link in the description section of this episode. Just scroll to the bottom of the page, and the last 2 references titled Salvation Hacks and A Worthy Adversary are for your normie friends to help wake them up. And parentheses, the second is intense and explains why some of us question the globe model. I also have a channel on Brighteon.com called Salvation Hacks with Bible studies, original music, and more to encourage critical thinking. I encourage everyone with the gift of knowledge to start your own channel there. They offer your videos under new videos, and you will get viewership very easily. I've been getting 200 views a day when I submit a new video. People are looking for spiritual truth, and maybe you can save souls by your presentation. Speak truth, honor God, earn your crown. We've been blessed to live in a time like none other. I think the disciples of Jesus would want to come back because the field is ready for reaping. Spiritual people are looking for truth. You can deliver it. Be empowered and launch your own channel while there is still time. I pray every day for Basil and Gons and the following they have. Please add them to your prayer list if you haven't already. They need our prayers. God hears us and will protect them if we continue to stand in the gap. Thanks for being awesome. Stay strong for Jesus, Rochelle.
Thank you very much, Rochelle.
Thank you, Rochelle. And yes, I got the, we have the booklet by Rochelle here. I'm holding it.
Oh, great.
So it's a physical copy.
And take a look at that.
I think she's got some stuff online of the same info here. So
cool.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much.
Rochelle came in, or we're reading her amount, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she came in with $77.07. Thank you very much, Rochelle.
Thank you, Rochelle. Appreciate it. And I always appreciate snail mail. It's a special kind of thing. All right. Thank you, Rochelle. Next up, we have Aaron J.
Aaron J is on a streak. Been supporting the show for 20 episodes in a row. Aaron J comes in with $54. And as we know, he is making producerships corresponding with his current Fortnite level. We're tracking him in his journey to Fortnite the best. And so, Aaron J, you must be level 54, buddy. You're doing a great job. I just had an image of like a Canary Cry esports sponsorship.
Ooh.
Except it's kind of an opposite sponsorship. It's they sponsor us. But anywho, Aaron J, you're doing a great job.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Aaron J. Keep Fortniting.
Fortnite so hard, bro.
All right. Next up, we have Arnold W.
Arnold W comes in with 5133, and I did not see a note. Thank you very much, Arnold W.
Thank you.
Glad to see you back on the list.
Thank you, Arnold W. Good to see you. Next up, we have Liz D.
Liz D comes in with $33.88, which is some version of our Illuminati handler for the day. Thank you very much, Liz.
Illuminatus!
Well, that goes for you too, Arnold W.
Illuminatus!
Yeah.
Yes, Arnold also.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Veronica D.
Veronica D and Gons, we made a whoopsie daisies.
I know.
I don't know how it happened, but we did. We forgot Veronica D's producership last episode, which is a shame because last episode she hit her 33rd streak producing a show, 33 episodes in a row, which means Veronica D has hit Illuminated Lizard Master Shill.
Well, she's on a streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
And
yeah, we still don't have a
how do we
jingle
not have one for that?
the most exciting streak. Some producer needs to get on this. Illuminated Lizard Master Shill. We need a jingle. Just cut what I just said, put some trap under it. You know what to do. I can't believe we still don't have a jingle for that. But thank you very much, Veronica D. She came in with $33.33 last episode, officially solidifying her place as an Illuminated Lizard Master Shill. And she came in with $7.30 this episode. Thank you very much, Veronica D, for your continued support. And sorry, I have no idea how that happened last episode.
Well, we're making up for it now. Thank you, Veronica D. Good to see you, and congrats on your 33rd and 34th, I guess, streak.
You did it.
You did it.
Yes.
Next up, we have Ethan N.
Thank you very much, producer Ethan N. I did not see a note.
All right. Next up, Sean D.
Sean D comes in with $16.88. Says, today is my birthday, and God's put it on my heart to finally become a producer. I woke up last year, and after following many wild routes of trutherism, I landed here at your show. It's been a huge blessing to my walk with Christ. God bless. Okay, well, let's start out with a happy birthday for Sean.
Happy birthday, Sean.
And I think Sean needs a demooching.
Ooh.
Thank you very much, Sean D. You've been demooched. Your tables have been re-overturned. Appreciate the support, buddy.
Does that mean it's underturned?
Something, yeah.
Yeah. Next
Sure.
up, happy birthday, by the way, to Sean D. Next
Yes.
up, we have Heather Russ.
Heather S. is on a streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
13 episodes in a row, comes in with 1418 and a note. Hey, Gons and Basil, happy Friday. Our donation is for 1 John 4:18 through 19, which reads like this. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear restrains us. Indeed, the one who is fearful has not been made perfect in love. We love because he first loved us. Can you play us Hairy Legs and the Howard Dean scream, heading to Hollywood, praying they'll let us in the venue without proof of vax? Thanks for
good
all
luck.
that you do.
Good luck in LA.
Yeah, Heather Russ. Okay, well, we'll give you some Hairy Legs and a Howard Dean scream for good luck.
Okay.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs.
Oh, I was hoping it would move over in time. It did not.
There we go. That should be enough. That should get you in.
Yeah.
If they don't let you in, just play them that.
Just play that.
I'll let you in. Thank you very much, Heather S.
We just for Heather Russ over here. We have a clip later on of some people in LA. Again, normal people, very mad at the mandates and restrictions that are rolling out over there.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that one. All right, next up we have producer Morv.
Morv is on the street. Supporting for 5 episodes in a row, comes in for $13.99, says, happy Friday. This show continues to be a huge blessing and encouragement in my life. Thank you, CCNT community and BNG. The way things are ramping up, we might actually get to see Basil's TV show, Oops, I Married a Nephilim, come to fruition. You know what? It is a golden age. It's a very accessible time to try to bring a TV show to the public. And yes, for those who are unfamiliar with the deep lore of Canary, this is sort of it's canonical, but it showed up on the Joyspiracy theory. I believe I could be wrong, but I think it was with the episode I did with Derek Gilbert, where I came up with a sitcom called Oops, I Married a Nephilim. It's going to be great, folks. Just somebody put me in touch with some Netflix executives, please.
You better trademark that title before it actually gets hijacked, because you know how those Hollywood leeches work. They just kind of take things if there's no legal cage around it.
I've already purchased the web domain and everything long ago. I've been paying for that web domain for years.
That is the modern way of protecting yourself, is to own the domain.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I couldn't sleep the other night, and oh, by the way, my little raccoon son showed up the other night again.
Great.
Raccoon update. He is buff. My cat was screaming at him again in the middle of the night. I woke up and I turn on the porch light and I look out there and he stands up and he like gets this like gym bro. He does this like gym bro flex on me. I'm like, whoa, bro, you are way bigger than I thought you were.
That is hilarious.
He's a pretty spooky raccoon.
Oh, man.
Where was I going with this? Oh,
I don't know.
I was up late one night, or I couldn't sleep, and when you're up late and it's because you're thinking about something, and you can't go to bed until you write it down, or like sometimes taking action will at least get it off your mind.
Yeah,
I was stuck awake, and I was.
Did you buy a bunch of domains?
Long story short, I bought some domains, and my favorite one that I bought was razzledazzle.zone, which is a great addition to my brand. razzledazzle.zone.
These will all eventually be portals to the metaverse. Basil little playground in the metaverse.
Totally,
but also,
that's what I'm saying.
Just to let people out there know, anytime we do like a domain list purchase type, like when we did CanaryCry.Party, you text me these words: I have a problem when it comes to buying domains. So I thought, wow, you're confiding in me. You must really like getting those domains.
I'm about to tell you, I'm sorry, brother. I just can't stop huffing paint.
All right. Well,
I have a problem. I pay like $500 in domain fees every year
for domains that are just ideas.
Yeah,
they don't do anything. You're just renting it from Econ, the controller of all domains.
Razzledazzle.zone does not lead ananywhere yet, but I'll
have to now because you threw it out there. You got to link it to something.
I'm gonna just put together a link tree or something for it.
It all leads to the same place.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Morv, for getting us on that little rant there.
Thank you very much, Morv.
Next up, Sir Casey the Shield Knight.
Sir Casey's on the street.
We're going streaking! Come on, everybody, we're going!
Woo! 68 episodes in a row. Sir Casey the Shield Knight continues to pioneer what it means to be a streaker here on Canary Cry News Talk. Came in a couple of times. Thank you very much, Sir Casey.
Thank you, Sir Casey. Next up, we have Mark D.
Mark D comes in for $8.31, which I believe is a pocket full of sevens plus fees. And he says, first-time producer after a year of blessings from listening to your podcast. I think we got to demooch him, Gons. There you go, Mark D. Hear ye, Mark D has been demooched.
Mark demooched.
The note continues, I'm now ready to do my part. God bless you both for all you do and want you to know how much I love the show. Mark D. Thank you very much, Mark D.
Thank you, Mark. Next up, we have Dominic R. Dominic R
comes in again for 831, pocket full of sevens plus fees, and says, "Hey guys, I've been listening on Spotify since episode 368. Oh, okay, 368. That means 31 episodes he's been listening to. Cool. Episode 368, but knew about Gons through Age of Deceit. This is my time to finally get demooched." Wow, 3 demoochings in one episode. This is some sort of record. This is awesome. Always listen to the podcast while delivering Amazon packages, and it makes the day go faster. Thank you. Well, thank you, Dominic, and thank you for doing your part.
Yeah, I know.
To keep this world going.
Yeah.
I hope you haven't had to pee in a bottle yet.
Yeah.
You can always stop by my place. You can use my bathroom if you want, Dominic. I always offer that to the Amazon drivers. None of them have picked me up.
They probably think you're like some weird creepy dude. Like, why does this guy want me to use
why does this
the bathroom?
guy with 3 cats want me to come into his house? And while I deliver a 4-pack of chapstick.
If it's the same guy every time too, it would get extra weird. You know, hey, you sure you don't want to use my bathroom? Like,
you know what?
You've asked every single time I've brought stuff this week. No, I'm good.
I'm gonna come forward. I've only done this once, but it's because you never catch the Amazon guys. They're they're sneaky. Baby. You don't even know that they're here.
Yeah, you just hear the thing plop on the door and they're gone. You open the door. Oh, what was that?
Yeah. Efficiency.
Yeah. They do have that weird sound now when the big, at least around here, the big Prime buses are backing up. There's like this. And they had it louder before. I think they turned it down, but it's like this crazy sound they make.
Or like a backup beeper, but it's special
not a
for the Amazon Prime?
I can't remember the exact sound, but it's not a beep. It sounds much different from a beep. But anyway.
That's weird. I didn't know that. I've never heard that.
Thank you very much, Dominique.
All right, thank you very much, Dominic.
Next up, we have Dominic. Sorry, I keep saying Dominique. Next up, JC.
JC's on a streak. 22 episodes in a row. Again, 831 or 830. I believe that is somehow JC is getting out of 1 penny of fees. I'm not really sure how that's working out, but thank you, JC. Sends a note. Have you ever experienced a Sasquatch sighting, orbs of light, or UFOs? By the way, your Bigfoot CCR episode was the catalyst that got my entire family into the subject. Wow, that's fun. They still think I'm crazy, but a little less crazy than before. Love y'all. Yeah, we've all had, you and I have had separate sort of orbs of light or UFO potential sightings. I don't think I've ever had a Sasquatch sighting, but I have heard the noise, the noise. That's it. I've never seen them.
Yeah, and I haven't had any Sasquatch things yet.
To be fair, though, I've been out in the forest, and just for fun, I'll make that noise really loud. Right. So somebody else's Sasquatch sighting or hearing could have been me making that noise.
Everybody watching this are all having a simultaneous Sasquatch sighting. It is Basil. Yeah. He is the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
In terms of orbs of light, kind of UFO stuff, because I always look up at night, seen some lights, do weird things and stuff. So yeah, nothing crazy though, but
nothing definitive.
Yeah,
nothing life-changing so far.
No, not yet. All right, thanks, JC. Appreciate it. Keep that streak going. Next up, we have Child of God.
Okay, Child of God comes in, and we have a streak correction. Child of God is on a streak, though. Streak correction. Child of God is now on a 5-episode streak. Thank you very much. Child of God comes in with...
You stopped like I was supposed to play a jingle, and I was like, is there a 5-streak jingle?
I was just on a different page, and I was having to get back.
Okay.
Comes in with 831. Again, pocket full of sevens plus fees. He says, this donation from Child of God, saving up for the big 400. Ooh, big 400 coming up, folks. Thank you very much, Child of God. Now, Child of God has sent us a few emails. I'm not sure if any of them are supposed to be read. They seem to be just notices. But I do see your emails, Child of God. Let us know, like, if there's something special you want us to read. But I'm sure we'll see you next episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Child of God. Next up, we have Sir Salmon's The Night of the Fishes.
Sir Salmon's is on a streak. 13 episodes in a row, pocket full of sevens. Happy Friday, Canarians. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Send out the producers for me as I am looking for a new job where I won't be muzzled or jabbed, which isn't a simple task, but God is good. Many blessings from the fishes. Okay, producers, assemble!
Producers, assemble!
That's right. Put it on the list for Sir Salmon's looking for a job with no jab.
Job, no jab.
Looking for a job, no
A
jab.
no jab job. Yep.
Yep, no jab job.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out there, Sir Salmon's. We'll be praying for you, and I'm going to believe that you're going to find one pretty quick.
Yep, there you go. Next up, we have producer Malik.
Producer Malik is on the streak. 2 episodes in a row. Thank you very much, Malik.
Thank you very much. Next up, Scott K.
Scott K is on a streak. 59 episodes in a row. Thank you very much. Scott K comes in with 399.
Episode number.
Ah, yes. Show number, producership. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Scott K. Next up.
Okay, that solves everything.
What?
I think we had a couple 399s come in, and I was like, what a strange number for so many people to be coming in with.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Gail M.
Gail M is on a streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
36 episodes in a row comes in with 399. Hola, mi chicos dolte. I emailed you a new jingle. I hope you can open it. Here it is again. I'm sure you love it as much as I do. Oh, the 399 is for episode 399. Hallelujah. Then a bunch of kitty cat emojis, XXXX, oh, and then a YouTube link. Not sure what the YouTube link is, but I'll check it out.
It's the jingle.
Okay, it's the jingle.
It's the jingle
that was uploaded to YouTube.
In 2014. Here's a little taste.
Okay. Oh, that's not a jingle. That's not a jingle. All right. Thank you, Gail. You confused me.
She's trying to dox
next?
you. All right. That was. Do you want to address that or no? Just kind of move on.
I don't think it needs to. It's a very well-known clip.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Doctor Who Done Dat.
Doctor Who Done Dat is on a streak. 4 episodes in a row, 374, which is a pocket full of threes plus fees. Thank you. And a note, 1 week sober. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Oh, yes. And an official amen here, which I used to have as part of my soundboard. And now it is here.
Amen.
There we go.
There we go.
Why am I having trouble with this setup the way I have it? This is not good. I need to do some.
You just got to get used to it. It's because you switched it around recently.
I know, but it's been a while. Several episodes. I usually get it by now. All right. Thank you very much, Who Done That, and or Doctor Who Done That, and we did receive the updated version of the Metaverse jingle, so appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes, and congrats on the 1 week. Get that chip, buddy.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Next up, we have Brant W.
Brant W is on a streak. 23 episodes in a row, comes in with 234.
234.
Oh,
it's how numbers work.
It is the way numbers go.
Yep. Thank you very much,
Brant W.
Brant W. Next up, we have Runk Smash.
Runk Smash is on a streak. Coming in with 204 with 23 episodes in a row. 204, 1 penny per character of the following microfiction. NFG is the first to notice they hadn't appeared on the ground. Fortunately, Basil sticks the landing, catching NFG, and exclaims, "Yeehaw! But I wish we had a horse." A wild horse approaches. NFG spots its badge. Watch out. He's a racist horse. These gold-darn racist horses.
I like it. I like
Thank
these.
you, Rank Smash.
Thank you, Rank Smash. Next up, we have Ciara.
Ciara's on a streak.
Yeah, she's on a streak.
Women rule!
31 episodes in a row. A couple of different ones here. A couple of notes, too. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Genesis 1:26 ESV. And she also says, don't forget about the Zoom meeting next Saturday and the Ohio meetup this month. Also, the Fountain dating app. Find your end time partner.
I like that. That's a good little pitch.
It's a good, yeah. Do they have that on the website?
I don't know. They should.
I don't know
Maybe
either.
They should give Ciara a little cut.
That's
coming
true.
up with
I
that.
wonder, Ciara, do you have an affiliate code or something? So she's talking about the Zoom meeting, the Zoom meetup, for those who can't make it to an in-person meetup. Over at CanaryCry.Community, they put together a Zoom meetup for Canarians. I think it's once a month. And next Saturday is the next one. So go to CanaryCry.Community, join that if you want to get involved with the Zoom meeting. Usually she'll send us like an access code. I'm sure we'll get that before the meeting. Also, the Ohio meetup this month. Yes, we'll talk about all the meetups in the next break. Thank you very much, Ciara.
Thank you, Ciara. Thank you to all the producers who came in with their treasure. Yes, it looks like our feed got split up from the first hour to the rest here.
It's
on
a little
YouTube, it's
little reset or something?
It's two different videos now happening. So
that's annoying.
Well, I'm sure that was, Susan pressing buttons.
Yeah, somebody's been pressing buttons.
Yeah. All right, you ready to wake up? Do some clips here. Clip.
Clip. Let's do it,
It's
Flippy.
wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
And it is COVID time.
COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19,
COVID-19.
COVID-19, COVID-19.
A pandemic special.
It is a pandemic special for sure. We have a clip here to start things off of Dr. Lena Wen. She's that, asset that the intelligence agencies seem to have. That always talking on CNN, always pushing the most woke, compliant UN agenda. And here she is talking about how we should be more like Canada.
Canada just issued a COVID-19 vaccine mandate for anyone over the age of 12 traveling on a plane or a train. I mean, we've spoken about this idea before. I wonder what's a better strategy, playing to someone's fear, using that kind of marketing campaign we just showed, or making the vaccine a requirement for more things like traveling. Should the U.S. be more like Canada?
Yes, we should. We really need every tool at our disposal at this point. We've already tried incentives, we tried outreach and education. We should continue doing that. But at this point, vaccine requirements are the way to go. Vaccine requirements in workplaces, as we've seen, have been very effective. And I also think that for domestic travel, for interstate travel, for planes, trains, interstate buses, things that are within the jurisdiction of President Biden and the federal government, I really do think that it's time to put those requirements too. First, it's going to make plane and train travel a lot safer, but also, especially with holidays coming, it will be a powerful incentive for people to say, look, you can stay unvaccinated if you want, but you're not going to be able to travel to see your family.
It's
wow, what a brutal way to put that.
I mean,
you can stay unvaccinated if you want, but you can't see your family. What an evil woman.
That's what I'm saying, man. The transparency of of the hypocrisy just on full display. No qualms about it. Just say your lines. I don't know. There's no way that people like this are just coming up with this on their own. I'm convinced that it's coming from not just intelligence, but also there's a spiritual issue going on here.
Yeah. I mean, and even the line, should the U.S. be more like Canada? Yes, we should.
Yes, we should.
Are you crazy? It'll never happen. This is CNN. This is their thing,
the rhetoric. It's always again
doing their thing.
See what but this is the Trudeau thing here. You want to hear what he said about all this?
Yeah.
Militia has outlined what the mandatory vaccination that's in place immediately for federal employees will look like. The bottom line, proof of vaccination will be required by no later than the end of this month for all federal employees. And the same goes for the second commitment we made, mandatory vaccination on travel. By the end of October, everyone 12 or older on a plane or train within Canada should be fully vaccinated. Testing will no longer be an option before boarding. There will only be a few extremely narrow exceptions, like a valid medical condition. For the vast majority of people, the rules are very simple. To travel, you've got to be vaccinated.
Oh, pause here. Why is testing not a thing anymore?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
That makes zero sense.
What they're saying is it doesn't matter if you're healthy. If you're not on your vaccine subscription, then you're a subhuman. You're a second-class citizen. Healthy people, not sick people, healthy people are second-class citizens. So much so that it doesn't even matter that they're healthy. Doesn't even matter. Nothing matters. It's all about compliance. And this is the Canada that CNN wants us to be more like. Complete insanity. I mean, this is reaching a level. And the thing is, it's the slippery slope issue. Because before this, it was, get vax. Hey, get vax. Get vax. But if you're not vaxxed, you can take a test, prove that you're not a filthy animal who's going to spread disease. Okay, testing's fine. And the slippery slope was always that, hey, if you allow that, they can just keep taking. And that's exactly what they're doing. I cannot believe that this guy is still in office.
There's another 40 seconds here.
These travel measures, along with mandatory vaccination for federal employees, are some of the strongest in the world. Because when it comes to keeping you and your family safe, when it comes to avoiding lockdowns for everyone, this is no time for half measures. Already, we're delivering on the first of our vaccine commitments, and in the weeks to come, we'll get the job done on a vaccine passport for international travel. We'll be there to foot the bill for provinces and territories that roll out proof of vaccination programs, and we'll introduce legislation to make it a criminal offense to threaten or harass healthcare workers.
A criminal offense? And what you're going to...
Is it not already a criminal offense to threaten or harass someone?
That's
already a criminal offense.
But I think what he means is disagreeing with them is now considered harassment, which is considered a criminal offense. This is
why else would you even bring that up unless there's some sort of elevation of the thing? Wow,
pretty wild.
Jeez Louise.
I know, it's crazy. We'll see how much people and businesses and everything comply as we go on here. I flipped a couple things around, Basil. There's a clip from Newfoundland presser about the mandate, and I thought it was appropriate just because we're in Canada, we're northern friends here, and this I'm going to play the whole minute and a half. I did edit a couple parts to shorten it a little bit, but it's a whole press conference. The absurdity of, first off, you have the podium, you have these people walking up to the podium in their masks, taking off their masks to talk into the microphone, and then putting their masks back on.
Did they put a mask on the microphone?
No, but...
An unmasked microphone?
Unmasked microphone.
Oh my gosh.
I would like to suggest to these PR people here to follow the footsteps of the young great leader Greta and learn from her. Put the mask on the microphone so you don't have to have this lady walk up to the mic and spritz it between every speaker. And you will hear that. I just let it play, especially if you're listening to the audio. You will hear it.
That hardware is going to give out real soon.
Just before we get started, I'd ask you all to keep your masks on while you're seated. So without further ado, I'm going to call upon the Premier to say a few words.
Put his mask on. He's walking off the podium. But before he can go, spritz. The lady comes in from stage left.
Theater, complete theater.
Spritz the microphone.
Honestly, what is even the point of that?
I don't know.
Scientifically, is there any science to say that even if there's COVID on the microphone, that it's going to jump up off the microphone? And
are you putting the mic in your mouth? Oh,
yeah.
like,
what is
doing?
That is such theater. It's ridiculous.
It's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the Premier.
Thank you, Minister. Good afternoon. Thank you all for taking the time to join us today here at this beautiful backdrop. And it's a real privilege and honor to be able to announce the Newfoundland and Labrador Vaccine Passport, NL Vax Pass, and the NL Vax Verifier. As of 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, residents and businesses will be able to download them from the Apple and Google Play app stores. As of tomorrow, residents can download the NL Vax Pass app to use with their IDs to provide proof of being fully vaccinated when entering certain businesses or venues. To give residents and businesses the time to learn more about our vaccine passport, we will be implementing a 2-week grace period to download the apps and become more familiar with their use. You can begin using them right away, but after 2 weeks, it will be mandatory. With that, I'll pass things now over to Minister Studley.
So there he goes, putting his mask on, walking off. Spritz.
Oh my gosh.
Next lady.
Thank you very much, Premier.
2 hours later.
Thank you very much.
There's the last lady, a little smattering of claps. Spritz.
That is so ridiculous.
Is this the first time an app is mandated, or like that you must use the app? Something like that?
No.
Have they done that before?
I think the Excelsior Pass.
Oh,
it's
you're right.
happening around the world. I think Australia has theirs. I think a lot of them are mandated. Like this mandate thing is not new.
Okay. Well, I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean, I guess I hadn't.
Well, I mean, isn't it so diabolical, though? You mandate an app on a phone. You can build whatever you want into this app. You can have a user license agreement that says we, the government of Canada, have complete access to your camera, your microphone, and all your files, and your tracking location, your data, your everything. It's mandated. It's illegal to not have this app. Think of all of this app is a Trojan horse. It is egregious enough that it's there to, be your papers for when the Stasi show up and show us the papers.
Right.
But it's also there could be anything in there. I mean, there needs to be some sort of cyber forensics team needs to take a look at that app. And I don't know. I mean, it's so much more diabolical than even its sinisterness on its face.
Yeah.
There's so many more levels to how bad this can be.
Yeah, and
just wait for the hack. I mean, there's going to be a hack of the app, and the hacker who gets into the app is going to have every single person's data perhaps from their entire phone. If Canada did not wrap this up nice and tight, this is a huge liability.
Yeah, and he did say, I cut it out, but he did say that, if you don't use an iPhone, you can still fill it out with a card, and you have ways to do it, and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah.
Seriously, Canadians, do not. If you can do it without getting the app, you really need to.
Yeah.
Don't even.
Even if you have an iPhone, why don't you? I've had that experience. What was it for? I can't remember what it was, but it must have been at a store or something where they're like, just download the app. You have an iPhone, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, just download the app. And I went, no, thanks.
Definitely not gonna.
But it's so easy. Well, you don't. And they got frustrated with me. They're like, but you can just download the app. And it's like, I know, but I don't like just downloading any app. I was trying to explain it, and the gal was like, but you can just download it. Like, she was so confused. I was like, oh man. All right. Okay. So timing about all this stuff being revealed. They got the mandates out there for political leverage for the political leaders to use COVID to mandate apps, all that stuff. They rolled it out. So some footage that hadn't gone viral yet has gone viral. This is newsrescue.com. Explosive video of Fauci HHS in 2019 plotting, quote, disruptive new outbreak in China somewhere to blow the system up and enforce universal mRNA vaccination. And I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Alex Jones that first shared this. It says here 3 clips from the hour-long video of the summit from C-SPAN are extracted by Alex Jones. And but I have the clips separated here. This first one, you're going to hear, who is this guy? I forget who this guy is, but you're going to hear Fauci in there. You're going to hear him talking about BARDA and the role of the government and where they step in. But here it goes.
Why don't we blow the system up? I mean, obviously we can't just turn off the spigot on the system we have and then say, hey, everyone in the world.
Sorry, this is Michael Spector, the New Yorker staff writer. And again, this was days before Event 201.
And then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet. But there must be some way that we grow vaccines mostly in eggs, the way we did in 1947.
In order to make the transition from getting out of the tried and true egg growing, which we know gives us results that can be, beneficial. I mean, we've done well with that, to something that has to be much better. You have to prove that this works, and then you've got to go through all of the clinical trials, phase 1s, phase 2s, phase 3, and then show that this particular product is going to be good over a period of years. That alone, if it works perfectly, is going to take a decade.
Well, I'm not a representative of industry, but I'll pretend I'm one. I make a flu vaccine every year, and it sells and it protects people to the degree that we can expect. So you have no incentive. Right. Why the hell would I go spend $400 million to do this thing, which may be great, and then if it's really great, you give it once or twice or 5 times.
And that's where the federal government comes in.
Hey, yeah. Wow. A lot there. I mean, this, and again, I mentioned how people are upset. I think any person, you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to watch this and know the date, October 29th, 2019, just a month or two before the whole pandemic and about a year before they really started doing the vaccine push thing.
Yeah. That
these conversations were taking place publicly. It's on C-SPAN. It's the Milken Institute Future of Health Summit. And yeah, did you hear them talking about how are we going to convince everybody to take this brand new vaccine and the procedure? Yeah. And even Fauci says, the whole procedure takes 10 years.
Well, right. There's a couple layers of things being admitted here. Yeah. It's Fauci admitting that it takes 10 years to have to correctly roll out a vaccine. Then they have the admission that, there's no way to do this unless we get the federal government to come in and make it mandatory. And then there's also there's so many layers. What am I forgetting? There was something else in there that was, I forget. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff. How long is that? Can we play it again?
It's 1:20. I can play it from the middle-ish.
Yeah, why don't you play it from
to something that has to be much better. You have to prove that this works, and then you've got to go through all of the clinical trials, phase 1s, phase 2s, phase 3, and then show that this particular product is going to be good over a period of years. That alone, if it works perfectly, is going to take a decade.
Well, I'm not a representative of industry, but I'll pretend I'm one. I make a flu vaccine every year, and it sells and it protects people to the degree that we
so
can
you have
expect.
no incentive. Right.
Why the hell would I go spend $400 million to do this thing, which may be great, and then if it's really great, you give it once or twice or 5 times.
And that's where the federal government comes in.
Yeah, so if it's really great, you give it once or twice or 5 times. Again, talking about from the pharmaceutical industry point of view, if we can give them 5 times, maybe give it to them once and then start giving them boosters, then that's really great. Well, the federal government can come in and make that happen, and we can all get paid. Great.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. This is some interspersed clipping of Rick Bright. He is the Health and Human Services Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, BARDA. He's a director there, Rick Bright, and Fauci talking about all this.
There might be a need or even an urgent call for an entity of excitement out there that's completely disruptive, that's not beholden to bureaucratic strings and processes.
So we really do have a problem of how the world perceives influenza, and it's going to be very difficult to change that unless you do it from within and say, I don't care what your perception is, we're going to address the problem in a disruptive way and in an iterative way, because you do need both.
But it is not too crazy to think that an outbreak of a novel avian virus could occur in China somewhere. We could get the RNA sequence from that, beam it to a number of regional centers, if not local, if not even in your home at some point, and print those vaccines on a patch and self-administer.
Whoa. Wow, a lot of things there too. It's like every single thing they say is a big bombshell. Yeah. Just starting from the end to the beginning, talking about wouldn't it be crazy if some disease popped up in China and we can send the RNA to regional centers, or even talking about
directly to your house so you can self-administer the vaccine. That is the ultimate.
No. Not even just self-administered. Notice he said patch. He mentioned the patch.
Yes, he did mention a patch. Yeah,
the microneedle patch, which is where the luciferase thing comes in. Yeah. Wow. Goodness. And yeah, this is. There's the other thing. What did he say? Play like the first 10, 15 seconds. He says it almost immediately.
It's about the big company.
There might be a
about
need,
the iterative,
or even an urgent call for an entity of excitement out there that's completely disruptive, that's not beholden to bureaucratic strings and processes.
So we really do have a problem of how the world perceives influenza, and it's going to be very difficult to change that unless you do it from within and say, I don't care what your perception is, we're going to address the problem in a disruptive way and in an iterative way. Because
right there. You go. Yep. So yes, first of all, the flu needs to be made into something it's not. The perception.
He says, we don't care about the perception. We're going to change it from within.
Doesn't matter what the perception is. We're going to force a change from within. And I mean, look, that this is not what we're preaching on the show, but there's been a lot of talk about how similar COVID is to the flu. There's clips of health workers mixing up COVID and the flu. There's clips of health officials talking about how the flu is maybe familiar to those who have COVID.
Well, there's the CDC data where they just stopped tracking the flu.
Totally disappeared. They stopped tracking the flu. It all got called COVID, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, changing the perception of the flu, perhaps changing the perception to something new like COVID-19. I don't know. It just fits. It's weird. It's a weird thing to say. And then disruptive Hello, what's more disruptive than the pandemic? And iterative. Now, this iterative term, for those who don't know, in the sort of like a technology space, software development, startup junk, blah blah blah. Iterative is a really important thing because you start with a minimally viable product, and a minimally viable product is like literally just, oh man, it's so bad, but it's just enough to show that it works. Just no bells, no whistles, the bare bones of a product, and it just gets the job done enough to bring it to market. And it's a bad product, but it's just enough to get it there. And so you can get some cash flow. You use that cash flow to make new iterations. And what have we seen with this vaccine? The vaccine is bad. It doesn't work. You spread the disease. It barely protects. You still get it. At best, it keeps you from dying. And then there's iterations. It's iterative. You need your booster every 6 months. Oh, there's a new variant. Well, we have this new and improved blah, blah, blah. Here we go. It's the new iteration. He is literally just casually in this little meeting they're having right before Event 201. And for those who don't know, I know most of our listeners do, but if you're new to the show, Event 201 was a event that happened in November 2019. Where international health teams came together, basically ran a Dungeons and Dragons campaign to simulate what would it look like if a coronavirus pandemic broke out across the world. November 2019, they did this, and then a month or two later, booyah, the pandemic starts. Coincidence? It's very coincidental, people say. But he also happens to be casually laying out this exact plan a couple days before that simulation, Event 201. I don't know. It's just weird, man. It's just weird.
This is the kind of... This truly is the kind of, and this is why I think this is also a controlled release of this information, is that, again, I keep saying it, they got what they wanted out of it in terms of the 2 years or so of the whole project. They're moving on to different things here, but they can let the cat out of the bag. Interesting. I'm just going to mention that it's interesting that Alex Jones is highlighted as being the one to really promulgate this information. You know, I mean, he's people have their opinions about where
certainly
his loyalties lie.
Suspect.
Yes.
People, there's a lot of people who suspect that he's Project Mockingbird or CIA.
Why wouldn't he release this before? Why now? Interesting timing.
And it's always curious with this guy. We get stuff earlier than most people, I think. People send it in or we just find it because we're looking for it. How much earlier does Alex Jones get all this stuff?
He probably gets the first batch.
Well, he gets it straight from the CIA.
Yeah, well, that he gets it, and then there's a date on there, like, can't do it earlier than this date here.
Release
post
release October.
Right. Okay, and I talked about people getting mad. So this is a clip here, last clip before we take our second break here, and it's the LA. They vote. They pass the thing with complete mandates everywhere, all over the place, and then let people call in, voice their frustrations. And I just thought it was an interesting set of concerned citizens in Los Angeles, including, Basil, you might like this, Libertarian, the leader of the Libertarian Party out there, phoning in and giving instructions to fellow Los Angelinos.
Ordinances passed, but not with the urgency clause.
I am addressing the vaccine mandate. For those that support this, I'm surprised you can stand with your hand over your heart, pledging allegiance to a flag that promises liberty and justice for all. This mandate is the antithesis of that pledge. Nearly 5 million Californians have already been infected with COVID. The CDC recognizes natural immunity to be as effective as the vaccine. Why not the LA City Council? You call us science deniers, but clearly that only applies to the science you're willing to recognize. When did we get to a place in America where proof of a vaccine that has been in circulation for less than a year is required to be a member of the community, but is not a requirement for those crossing our borders? You're dangerously flirting with the policies of 1930s Germany.
I look at this as a declaration of war against the people and the businesses of Los Angeles. Passing this motion was just a disgusting display of hubris and ego. And any of you who voted for it are literal fascists. With this COVID vaccine, you're basically saying that The problem is those who have not been vaccinated are dangerous to those who are vaccinated. So that means the vaccine doesn't work. I mean, if this is what you're saying, it just makes no sense whatsoever.
To the decline in cases, we're under 1,000 and over 10 million. There's no more emergency. And the healthcare system's not overwhelmed. These vaccines don't stop the spread, as other people have stated and disclosed by the CDC. You're not following the science.
This is totally un-American. This is unconstitutional. It's immoral. You guys are going to just divide people amongst themselves.
My name is Angela McArdle, and I'm the chair of the Libertarian Party of Los Angeles County. We will be seeking to overturn the mandatory vaccine ordinance either by initiative or referendum. But in the meantime, I want to urge everyone to participate in mass noncompliance. The city doesn't have the infrastructure to enforce this law, and if we work together, we can overwhelm their system quickly.
So who are these people serving? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? Big corporations, billions and trillions of dollars, big corporations, not the people of the city of Los Angeles. You all need to be voted out. Every one of you. Public, we need a different system, not these criminals.
There you go. Like, a lot of upset people, a lot of people realizing what's going on.
Will you remind me what is this call? Was it just sort of a fringy guy call, or was this an official LA call?
I think this is officially to LA City. This was like the LA City public comment
town
on the
hall.
Yes,
thing?
yeah.
Okay.
So
good.
I mean, quite a bit of angry citizens. I wonder what's going to happen now, because there's enough people that are just your run-of-the-mill, even Democrat, lefty type, and like it started kind of with Bill Maher and certain people that are out there publicly, that push back a little bit, and that Libertarian Party leader there saying like a mass non-compliance, and just telling everybody no, just don't listen to them. I wonder if they're actually going to do that, and then how do they enforce it? It truly is kind of this war that between the citizens and the state. It's a very interesting thing happening out there.
Yeah, well, the mass non-compliance, that's kind of the thing. And that's really what the war of the establishment is against, is mass non-compliance. And actually, they benefit a bit from ignoring non-compliance. And this will get just slightly meta, and I'll try not to get too in the weeds with it. But you can see this play out in a lot of places where they make a big deal about compliance. They make a big deal about every business needs to blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, on the ground, the actual boots on the ground enforcement is almost non-existent. For those who have done any flying, maybe not recently, I haven't flew recently, but when I went on my little trip, there was no enforcement of things. I mean, they tell you ahead of time, oh, you got to have your blah, 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 this or that, and you won't get on the plane if you blah, 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 blah. And this is basically just a bunch of words. The enforcement was minimal.
They don't have the numbers to really do a full-scale enforcement, which is why they're rolling out the robots.
Which is, there's kind of two wars going on. One is, or I guess it's the same, but it's happening on two fronts.
Multiple fronts.
One of the fronts is the actual physical reality of enforcement, which is very weak. But the other one is the front of the mind, which is if you can trick everybody into thinking that things are being enforced, then that's just as good as actually enforcing them. And they have a little bit more power on that front. That's why we finally saw stories of like this woman who went to Hawaii had a fake vaccine passport. Now she's going to jail for life. And they started rolling out these excuse me, I'm choking on my own self. They had all these stories of, this person got in trouble for not wearing a mask, or this person got in trouble for having a fake vaccine passport, and they make a lot more progress. Excuse me for a second.
Mute Mike. Oh, he's convulsing too.
they make a lot more progress on the war of the mind than the actual enforcement in physical reality.
Yeah.
And so because they have a lot less control in the physical reality, the day-to-day happenings of people's lives. So yeah, that non-compliance, it seems there is a way to look at it that it seems maybe on its face a little impotent of a move, but it's actually very powerful. I mean, it's a very powerful thing, and that's what Americans. I mean, that's how America works, baby.
I know, and it
non-compliance, peaceful non-compliance.
And the part of the mind that you mentioned is really the feelings I was getting is that the mind control aspect of this. And this is why we see, or at least I see still people out there driving in their car by themselves, double mask.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen by chance. These people are. I pray for them. Truly, I do, because they are in a state of fear. They are in a state of only being able to hear one message from an authoritative figure that's acting as an angel of light, and it's just, it drives me kind of bananas, but it is mind control. It is wild to be living in a time where we are seeing so much of it out in the open, and people's behaviors are changed and affected, and it's a mixed bag. Some people are awake, some people are going along with the whole narrative. It's a very interesting time, and we're all living amongst each other, at least in America, at least in California here. It's all, we're all just kind of like, yeah, okay, what's happening? Everybody I talk to, there's a sense of like they want to talk more about their feelings of rebellion or whatever that's being churned, and I've noticed that a lot more recently, and it's very interesting because I can relate to that feeling from like 10 years ago of like, oh my gosh, gotta tell people, it's all they're lying to us, and that whole thing we've gone through it. And I think that's why I mentioned earlier, Basil, our job is to kind of be like, okay, we know, yes, you're right, like there's things going on, we've been lied to, but let's kind of keep grounded here.
Stay sane.
Yes, there's a greater reality at play here, and it's a great opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ as well, because that really does ground us to everything.
And building resistance to that mental war front as well is really the most effective resistance in the war altogether. I mean, the mind front of the war is where it starts, and if you can resist there, if you can dig in and get your foxholes all ready and stay entrenched there and not let that get taken over, then the physical war front will be a lot easier to hold. Now, part of the sort of mind war going on that goes along with what you're saying is the idea that unvaxxed are Republicans and they're conservatives, and the unvaxxed are conservative extremists and blah, 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 blah.
That's not true anymore. Yeah.
We know that it's not true, and it's not even anymore. It's never been true.
Yeah, you're right.
It's always been true that, I mean, just off the top of my head, at least half of unvaccinated people are they probably
minorities
aren't. They're not quite like Democrats. That's not even the right categorization, but they are minorities. They're liberals. They're hippies. The crunchy people aren't getting vaxxed. We know that minorities like black folk and Hispanics and them. What else? The Asians are pretty vaxxed, cons, but
well, we have Dr. Lena Wen leading the way. Just follow the Asian on TV and everything will be fine. In fact, I don't think there is really maybe Robert Kiyosaki is the only guy out there that I know of that's like a popular Asian guy kind of pushing against the whole vax narrative.
Yeah.
But
so don't keep that in mind. That I've noticed with a lot of people, especially online, like they tend to think that any unvaxxed person is like a conservative person, but that's even a dangerous war on the mind front for those who consider themselves liberal. They consider they're hippies living up in San Francisco, and they just don't want the vax.
They get labeled Trump supporter.
Exactly, and suddenly they're getting labeled as Trump supporters. And I mean, if you're a conservative and you don't like the news calling you a Trump supporter because you're unvaxxed, think of how the crunchy hippies feel when they're anti-vax and they're being called Trump supporters. I mean, that's got to be a pretty brutal spot to be in too.
Yeah, and this all plays into this idea of Jesus during his Olivet discourse, Matthew 24. It's also in Mark 13, and they ask him, like, hey, what's going to happen at the end of the age? And Jesus talks about many false Christs coming, claiming to be Christ. But, this is the part where he says, and you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. And a lot of that has to do with, what is a rumor? It's information warfare. It's meant to control your fear state and all that stuff.
It could almost be interpreted as a psyop.
It's a direct psyop,
A rumor of war is just biblical term for a psyop.
Yeah. So I think we are very much in those days when Jesus kind of highlighted some of that. And look, it's been going on forever. It's been an ongoing thing. Anybody with control, but the reach, the ability to influence the masses in big swaths has never been possible until now with technology and smartphones and robot arms to find your keys and just everything out there. It's all coming together. But okay, let's take a quick break. Thank some more people, and then we'll land the episode here, just so we're in time.
It's break time. Come on, take a break.
Gons, I want to take a quick second. And we have one financial producer to add on the list today.
Okay.
And they came in during the show, which we're pretty I won't say we're pretty lax, but we consider if people come in during the show. And this person was on a big streak already. And the amount that they came in with was sets precedent. It shows the repentance for coming in late. So we're going to thank them.
Okay.
And that is producer Juan A.
Juan. Yes, I did miss your presence there. Yes.
And Juan A is on a streak. This makes it 26 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
And Juan A came in with 33. So he's one of our Illuminati handlers for the day.
Illuminatus!
Yes, and sent a note. Dude, I missed it, didn't I? I lost my streak, man. My apologies, fellas. It's been busier than ever at work. Well, here goes another try at 33 ups in a row. Well, Juan, given the circumstances, you came in during the show before the second break. And yes, we are going to have to tighten up a little bit on these late things. But since you were on such a big streak and you came in with a nice, decent amount, if you were to come in for $1 or something, I'm not sure if we would have been so excited to thank you during the second episode. But second break. But anyways, there you go. Thank you very much, Juan A, for supporting the show. And sorry to call you out, but we wanted to get you on the list for this episode.
Yep. There you go, Juan A. Thank you very much for your treasure.
And I guess what I meant to say is, let this be a lesson to anyone who is late on their producerships and doesn't want to lose a streak, is there's a right way to do it. And Juan did it the right way.
There you go. Okay. All right. We're going to thank some people for their time and talent. There's more than one way to produce a show beyond just treasure. And we want to thank Rachel C. for doing the timestamps for episode 398. Thank you very much, Rachel C.
Rachel C. Rachel C., when she sends in the emails with our stuff, I mean, I rarely am the one dealing with Rachel C. or interacting with Rachel C., but such a delightful person.
Yeah, she's always happy.
Delightful little notes with when she sends in her work, and she always does a great job. So thank you very much, Rachel C.
Thank you, Rachel C. Let's do a jingle here.
We have a new jingle. Never brand new stuff.
And it is from Learbag 3000, who's going to send some Shiba as a treasure support, but the gas fees on Ethereum are just out of control.
Insane.
Out of control. And so it's okay. It's fine. It's fine, Learbag. You're good to go. But he sent in this little track here, Unstoppable.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable.
A new world order.
It's possible. When do we want it? Blah, blah, blah.
Wow. That is a real masterpiece, Learbag.
Well, she gave it to him on a platter. I mean, it was pretty.
That was good. I almost want to hear that again.
You want to hear it again?
Crank it just a little bit if you can. Give it.
It's kind of where it's at. Hold on,
Okay.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable.
A new world order.
It's possible. When do we want it?
Wow.
Good stuff.
Wonderful. That is a great Greta. That could be used for so many different things.
I know.
It's a nice New World Order jingle.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've updated our New World Order jingle recently.
No.
It's also just a great Greta jingle.
Yeah, I think, it could be both, probably.
Yeah. Wow. Wonderful work, Learbag.
Good job. All right. Okay, we had that update from... Okay, so we're going to do some art now. Handwritten.
One art, please.
Or hand-drawn, I guess. We're going to start with Dame Allie.
One art, please. Another one from Allie now. Here it is.
And this one is titled Elon Musket, taking the next leap forward in his continuous rivalry with Jeff Bezos. Elon Musk moves Tesla to Texas so that he too can wear a cowboy hat. Yes.
Yeah, it's this C-band. Everybody's wanting to get in on the cowboy hat game.
Yeah.
We need to figure out how to get Little Winged One like on that rich guy cowboy hat game where they're paying like $6,000 for a hat.
Yeah, good idea.
That'd be good. She could be our in.
our way in. We were the hat horse, Trojan hat horse.
Yeah.
Very
but
good.
This is a great piece. It's Elon Musk looking so smirky, wearing a big old cowboy hat with a feather in it, and his shirt says InfoWars.
Yeah.
Is there something in this article that refers to InfoWars, or is
I think he's just
Ali,
moving to Texas.
Oh yes, okay, that makes sense.
He's moving into Alex Jones's neighborhood.
Yeah. Wow. What does Newsom say about this? Is he
I
retorted?
think he has not, but I can picture. I'm picturing him in his little workstation, and he's slamming his hand on the table, and he's
I always got the impression that Elon never liked it in California.
Yeah, well, it does say that
he's always complaining about California.
Yeah, well, he says that they're still going to be there, like there's a presence there, but it was just too expensive. Like, you can't get people to live there and work because they can't afford to live in the area, so they got to drive in, and it's just out of control. So he's like, let's move to Texas.
Also, I don't think Elon wants to vax his kid.
That's possible, yeah.
I think that's a big bit. I mean, Ash, whatever his name is, whatever the kid's name is he's got to be
by the way,
a couple of years old now.
Yeah, and by the way, I part of that name of his son, I had the thought the other day that, this is moving names in general into more code. Everything's turning into code.
Yeah, it's like a what is it? Like a screen name, like a player tag or something.
Right. It's
rather
more
than
of
a name.
Right, and they had issues getting the name legally in whatever that thing was because they don't accept certain characters or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go, Allie. Great job. Another piece to add to the collection here. Okay, anything else on that one, Basil?
No, wonderful job. Thank you very much, Dame Allie.
Great work. Next up, we have Sir Dove.
One art piece from Dove.
And it's Friday, so it's 2 art pieces.
Huzzah.
And the first one here Well, let me just read the note. For this week's Street Team Designs, I did a flyer for all the future Californian shamans out there and a sticker designed for the Gox Father. Hope you guys like and keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins.
These are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this first one, beautiful black and white piece here, a flyer to be hung up, especially for you Californian listeners. And it's a picture. Well, it reads like this. Want to learn how to purify bear urine into delicious drinking water? Sign up now for Californian white girl shamanism classes at CanaryCry.Party. And
White girl shamanism classes.
And the illustration is... looks like she's coming straight from Bonnaroo or something. We've got a white girl with dreads with a big Indian or Native American headdress with face paint. She's got a sacred geometry shoulder tattoo with the little hand thing as well. The hand tattoo, I forget what that's called. She's got her hand on a bear. And the bear is just sort
The bear looks very suspicious.
Well, I don't know what look that is he's giving her, but it is not good, whatever it is. This triggered me a little bit, Gons, because I'm pretty sure I went to high school with this girl.
I think the bear is wondering why this crazy lady wants to purify his urine.
Yes, why is she waiting for me to use the bathroom?
And she has a diamond.
It's like it's a big crystal geode ring.
Yeah.
Big fat one.
She's
Very
married,
good.
apparently.
Oh, you're right. That is on her marriage hand there.
Yeah.
Sorry, fellas. This white girl shaman is
taken.
Taken.
She won't be on the app. Sorry. Sorry, fellas.
God bless that man.
All right.
Or
and then
woman. It is California.
Yeah. It's all.
And she is a shaman.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is hilarious. I mean, the sad part is she looks like Kesha circa 2012.
You are really triggered by this. I'm going to move on to the next one so you can get off of it here.
Thank you.
And this is the other one here. It's Gox Father. And
This is so
the hamster,
funny.
the hamster trading crypto.
Mr. Gox.
Yeah.
Mr. Gox. Yes, and this is a flyer here. Stock Talk with Mr. Gox, CanaryCry.Party. And it's a nice, beautiful little picture of that cute, adorable little crypto trader, Mr. Gox, sitting at his little bitty desk. He's got his computer up there. His nameplate says Gox de Boss. He's got some charts back there. I can't quite get close enough to read the chart, so that'll be you, Guns. But on his over his other shoulder, he's got a big old Gox coin.
Yeah.
He's going to come out with his own cryptocurrency.
Gox coin, yeah. The little chart here has street value in trillions as the y-axis from 0 to 33. And then it has the date on the bottom on the x-axis. And there's a blue line that's going up and to the right. And it says the big Gox coin. And then the other direction moving down and to the right is the red line that says yo stupid fake dollar.
Mr. Gox is pretty woke, man.
Yeah, where is his Jinkos?
Oh God, Mr. Gox wearing his little hamster Jinko jeans. And yes, Mr. Gox, of course, he's got his googly, his eyeballs are pointing opposite directions, but it's just because he's so smart and so good at finance.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yes, both of these, I think, will definitely catch the eye of passersby and spread the word of the show. And yes, stay tuned, Canary Cry Street Team. I feel like we need to put together some what is the word? Infrastructure for the street team thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I mean, I'm not going to volunteer anyone, but I know we have. I'm not going to put any pressure on anybody who hasn't volunteered, but we got somebody who will be announced who's putting together some stickers and going to actually put some work into this, which we're very excited about. And Mr. Dove, obviously, or Sir Dove rather, putting a lot of work into this, and I feel like it deserves. We might need a team to lead the street team and help make these resources available, develop strategies. Maybe we can start on CanaryCry.community or something. But be thinking about that, producers. Let's see what we can do to really make the Canary Cry street team a thing.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And it's all done by the producers.
It's all producers. Producer-led initiative. That's the only way that anything gets done around
it's
here.
It's not going to get done. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Sir Dove. Keep up the great work. We got one from Ryan N. This is the next page of the saga.
Okay. I'll wait till you have it up so I can pick which one we're working on here.
It's page 8.
Is this the newest one?
Yes.
Page 8.
Yeah.
Page 8. No, it's not the newest one, but it's the second to newest one. Okay.
Yes.
Page 8. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So this is the next page in Ryan N's graphic novel here. And we are sticking with, what is this guy? He's the head of the Cupido International. He's still giving a presentation. And he's just revealed all of his implants and his transhuman abilities, like a Elon Musk mixed with a Mark Zuckerberg mixed with a Bezos. And I'm stalling now because I'm trying to pull this up.
I have it in the doc now if you want to just pull it up there.
I know. I got to pull it up live on my computer so I can zoom in enough to see what I'm looking at here. Okay, here we go. Oh, gosh. Zoomed in too far. Sorry. Okay, so he's showing off his implants, and he's clenching his hand and unclenching his hand, and he says, "I present Ego. It's an all-in-one tech innovation with humanity in mind." And there's a little hologram of a man in a suit.
Looks like himself.
Yes, that is now hovering above one of his implants. It's your phone, GPS, medical information, bank account, everything, all connected to a quantum computer called Lexicon, source of all cataloged knowledge. And it even comes with your own digital assistant that you can customize to fit your personal style. Next frame here, still showing off the fun stuff. You may have by now noticed the translation software. He's pulled up like the Ego news feed on his hologram here. It's a standard feature of Ego that allows all people of the world to live together under one roof. But live where, I hear you asking? Great question. And it's showing a very close-up shot of his big teeth.
There's a little lizard tongue coming out of it, by the way.
Yes, his little lizard tongue. Introducing Project Romulus, the most ambitious project of my company to date. 10 domed cities across the world, all containing an indoor sun and moon cycle. And he's showing sort of a slideshow here of a smart city, basically, and where they would be positioned.
It's like the flat Earth dome encased within each city there, yeah.
Each one would be a near perfect utopia, all unified to the idea of peace and security. Likely story. Each one would simulate the day in, day out of regular life without the limitations like the language barrier, a world with a regulated digital currency and all the modern conveniences like police, medical care, and food production, all with the help of robotics and tech provided by Cupido International subsidiaries. It's going through the process. You can exchange currency by shaking hands. You got the chip in your hands, making that transaction. You've got all these, you've got transhumanism police. You've even got a robot dog with a flippy arm on it, as well as some nice GMO burgers there. There you go. We're looking at the future through Ryan N's graphic novel here. Thank you very much, Ryan N.
Yeah.
And, this is a great project he's embarked on, and where we love sharing it, and can't wait to see where we show up. But also, it's a great, what is the word? It's tying everything together in like a single fictional narrative, but also connecting all the dots that we've been talking about for years.
Yeah, no, it's got the scriptural stuff in there too, which is great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So all the eschatology.
Thank you very much.
Yep, nice work, Ryan, and keep it up. He's in the chat. He's asking for producers. He said he sent a request in the email here. So let me just assemble the producers.
Okay.
Producers, assemble!
trying to pull up the email here. Okay. I'd like to have prayers for my friend Rick. He's a practicing hermetic magician. And I've been trying to witness to him and get through to him that his works, especially magical ones, don't equal any form of salvation. He also has his first child on the way, so I pray everything is well with the baby and the mother. So there you go. That's producers for Rick. Rick.
Okay, you're on the list, Rick. There's nothing more intimidating to a hermetic magician than being on a prayer list for a bunch of prayer warriors across the world.
Yeah.
So good luck, Rick. Jesus is coming for you.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Yeah, we should be praying for those hermetic magicians out there. That's the thing I've noticed too, just to briefly mention. The media and the mainstream, they normally lump a lot of New Agers that are out there in with the fringy Christians and the religious. Oh, they're all crazy. And I think it's because a lot of New Agers, when they start hearing the gospel, like in the right context, they will follow Jesus. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of people that are in New Age because they're thirsty for spiritual truth.
There are innumerable stories of that.
Yes, it is a common thing, and we've heard it over the years. So I think that's probably why.
To be fair to Rick, Hermeticism is not
it's not New Age. You're right.
In a strict sense, it's a very old tradition.
Yes,
but
much older, but they're all sort of connected.
Does not provide any salvation more than any actual New Age nonsense.
Yes. All right.
Okay, what are we looking on time, Gons?
Not good, but I got one more piece of art to share here, and it's from... it was sent in by Living T. Bill.
Okay.
And first, it was a bunch of different images here, but the first one, it was Tango and Cash. It's an old movie with Sly Stone and Kurt Russell. And he updated the poster with... Basil and Gons.
Yeah, this is fun. I don't know if I ever watched Tango and Cash, but I'm familiar with the reference. Oh, yeah, we look pretty good. Oh, and I'm glad I got the facial hair in this one. I always like that. I like you used your headshot with your your smolder, the Shimura smolder. Who did this?
This was Living T. Bill.
Thank you very much. Did he? He changed some of the text on here.
Yes, he did.
I can't quite read it. Why don't you read it to us? What's the tagline on that poster?
Two of the internet's top rival podcasters have to work together, even if it kills them. Pretty spot on there.
That's good. Canary Cry Radio presents a Body of Christ Productions, directed by God, produced by Canarians. Hey, there we go. A value for value product. Music by Canarians. Score, Gon Shimura. Art by many fine producers. What does that last one say?
Destined to rattle a few cages.
That's right. It is destined to rattle a few cages. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, real quick here. Meetups.
Canary Cry Meetup.
CanaryCry.Meetups.com is where you can learn about meetups happening all over the world. Let me just
Faster.
Ciara is organizing a meetup on October 30th in Ohio at the Basil Pizza and Wine Bar, Parisburg. So contact her. She's also leading the charge for a November 6th NorCal meetup at the Iris and B. Gerald Center for Visual Arts at Stanford, California. All the contact info will be available at CanaryCry.Meetups.com. There's another one planned for SoCal December 4th. Mr. Jag at ProtonMail.com if you are in the EU and you want to meet up with other Canarians. November 27th at the Vienna Christmas Market. We have the Louisville, Kentucky meetup coming up October 31st. Contact Tony, awake, oh, sleeper, and rise at gmail.com. And that one's taking place at the Mile Wide Brewery. It's kid-friendly. It is Halloween night there. North Idaho. Josiah hosting meetup on October 16th. That's coming up. At the Coeur d'Alene or in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And you can contact Josiah B. Dyer at gmail.com. And I think that's all the meetups happening right now, or coming up in short.
That's right. And there's the Zoom meetup happening next Saturday. You can email ciaraloren93 at gmail.com to get the contact information for that and how to log in. And yes, we always recommend go to these meetups. You need to do it. I mean, lots of people making friends in the chat and in the forums and on the online groups. But go to one of these meetups. If there's one in travel distance, you got to meet human beings in person, face to face, fellowship with them. It'll be a great time. You got tons of stuff to talk about.
Oh, we
so
got
don't
a
worry
flyer.
If you're a little...
Sorry, Ciara's telling us we got a flyer for the Zoom.
All right, we'll pull that up while I finish this.
Yeah, go ahead.
And if when things go sideways, then you'll have your apocalypse buddies right there. You just exchange phone numbers, become friends. It's a good thing to do.
Right.
We got a week for her thing, so if we can't find it now,
there it is. Wait, is that it? Huh. Okay.
She said it's the same information as last time, but we need to keep moving. We can't get hung up.
Okay,
on stuff. So we'll
there you
keep
go.
showing it. She says next Saturday, so we got time.
This is fun.
All right, Gons, and we keep running out of time on Fridays, so I'm going to have to start mixing in reviews into other episodes.
Okay.
Because it's only fair to the reviewers, but I'm going to play a little bit of catch up here for the reviewers. That's right. Leaving ratings and reviews is a very important part of the puzzle here at the show. It's something that Gons and I have no control over, and that is the algorithms on the podcast players. There's nothing we can do about it. It's all up to you guys, producers. So those who leave ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts are actively creating a zone of truth where the algorithms read your reviews, see your stars, and then share the show out with people who have never heard of it before. It's very effective in sharing the show, and it only happens when people like you leave ratings and reviews. So I want to thank them. I'm going to read a few. I'm not going to completely catch up now because we need to keep going. But I want to thank a few people. One of them is Hal82. Yippee. Hal82 gives us 5 stars and says, a must for Christians. I honestly can't say enough good things about Basil and Gons. If you're looking for solid Christian content regarding today's current events, then look no further. The information these guys provide is priceless. I really can't stress how valuable the content of this show is, given the current state of the world. There really is nothing else like this on the interwebs. Love the show and love the hosts, and it doesn't take long for the listener to realize that God is using these two brothers in Christ in a big way. Thank you very much, Hal82.
Thank you, Hal. Very kind.
Next, we have Small One from the U.S., leaving 5 stars. There are marathon listeners for a reason. Started listening to this dynamic duo in 2015 and have never been disappointed. Love the 3 times a week, hours-long show they do now. I often listen to them while running. All my Canarian runners out there, hit me up. Okay, there's no contact information, but I'm assuming runners all know each other and have each other's emails.
Or they can run to each other.
Yeah, they just run to each other. Who needs a phone when you can just run? I imagine there's a nice group of people who exercise during the show.
Yeah.
In one way or another. And to those, come on, keep going. Keep going. You got this. A little Basil motivation for you. Next, we have your dear fascist friend. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts saying just flatcha nacha nihilipilificaten. 5 stars. And the review just says, bruh. Thank you, dear fascist friend. Hey, you know what? Algorithms be algorithm.
I know. They probably love it. They're like, ooh, look at these guys. They're attracting the fascists.
Short and sweet.
What can we learn from them?
Maybe we got to share the show with other fascists.
We need to make more fascists out of people. Let's push this show out into the ether. Okay.
That
Thank you very
means
much.
maybe Trudeau will find the show.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Okay, next is Lisa via Apple Podcasts in Canada. What's up, Canada? 5 stars. Highly recommend. These guys do an excellent job reporting current news and events and highlight the connection and parallels between biblical prophecy and history. While the subject matter is often serious, they present it in a lighthearted, humorous way. They're great at what they do, and I look forward to each episode. Favorite podcast for sure. Thanks from Canada. Although I am still wondering what Basil is hiding under the VR headset. A unibrow, a face tattoo, a third eye. It's a unibrow, isn't it? She finishes up. Thank you very much, Lisa.
It's all the above.
It's all.
It's all of them.
All right, let's see here. One more here for today, and I'll save a couple for Monday. But so let me just get into it. Jay Dizzle.
Why don't you finish off September? Because some of these are from September. So do the last two there. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I'll do September. Okay, so a couple more. Jay Dizzle, 5 stars, my favorite podcast.
Wow.
Razzle dazzle, it's your best buddy Basil and your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. I listen 3 days a week and is my favorite pod. Thank you very much, Jay Dizzle.
Thank you, Jay Dizzle.
All right, last one for September is from Paurian. 5 stars from the United States, says fun alternative news. I heard of this podcast from when they produced the No Agenda show earlier this year. Okay. ITM, Paurian. They have a similar program as No Agenda, using a value for value model, value for value support system and clips that they break down in their own style with a couple of unique segments of their own. Yes, thank you. I appreciate the clean language and occasional references to their worldview. Their banter is even amusing, if not entertaining. This is a fantastic source of alternative news on current events. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you, Paurian.
Thank you, Paurian.
And there we go. Thank you to all of our ratingers and reviewers. As I always say, it's very important that we hit a certain quota of ratings and reviews every single week. And if you're out there and you haven't left a rating and a review yet, even if you're supporting the shows in other ways, please leave a rating and a review. This is very important and something that Gons and I have no control over. It's all you. That's why I read them on the show every Friday, and now maybe even more often. We'll see. Because, hundreds now, if not thousands of new people find and are finding the show because of these reviews and activating the algorithms. That's why I personally consider it a personal favor when you leave ratings and reviews, and I'm honor bound to read them word for word on the show. So go at it, you crazy kids. You can leave a review. Best way to do it is if you have an Apple device, whether it's a phone, tablet, a computer, whatever, search Apple Podcasts on your phone. It's a little purple icon. Click on that. Search for Canary Cry News Talk and leave a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. And yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, Gons. All done.
All done.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Let's do this real quick, and we can call it a show. I've got a few minutes here. It's a politics section.
The last one will take a little bit of reading.
Sure,
but we can do it fast. Yeah.
It's Latin for many. Tick. Now suck your blood. Now politics. Your blood.
I'll just do this one here real quick because I think your assessment was correct, and I haven't really heard anybody else.
I want to hear you say it.
I haven't really heard anybody else mention it here, but CNN.com, federal judge issues order blocking Texas's 6-week abortion ban. And I'll just read here.
Almost to the day.
To the day.
Did I call this?
A federal judge in Texas issued an order Wednesday blocking the state's 6-week abortion ban. Quote, from the moment SB 8 went into effect, women have been unlawfully prevented from exercising control over their lives. Okay. Point being that you had said that the only reason why they allowed this to pass in the first place was to galvanize the Democrats around, or especially California, to keep Newsom in office, get the votes to at least, make the rigging less obvious. is the way I will put it. But I think you're right. I think that looks like it's moving in that direction. They just allowed it, and they're like, hey, we get the attention of all the Democrats, get them to vote, and then let's, now that, we got what we wanted, keeping Newsom in office here, let's pull back that whole abortion thing in Texas.
Keep in mind, this judge could have done it the next day. He could have banned it. But no, they kept it for long enough for the Newsom recall, the Democrats to be galvanized, motivated, and activated in California to get Newsom, this crazy dictator, greasy politician, in California to pass his recall election. And I said it right when it happened. This is going away. It will not last. I think I said it won't last more than 3 months, but I'll give it a month before it is repealed.
The whole thing fully comes down, yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost exactly 1 month since I said that. And yes, this whole Texas abortion ban was a political move, very expertly crafted, expertly executed, and everybody bought right into it. The Republicans and Democrats who thought that they were going to lose their abortion rights and yada, yada, yada in California were activated military style to keep Newsom in, and they get exactly what they deserve by keeping him in. And here we go. Of course, this doesn't last. Of course, it's overturned after 1 month of being in effect.
Yeah. We didn't throw it in the red book. We should have. We need to do a better job of keeping our red book.
I should have been. Yeah.
More
well,
adamant,
it's out there publicly, but I should have made a bigger deal about it.
Yeah. Just to keep the list going.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. The other thing to mention here. This is from thehill.com. Biden intends to sign short-term bill raising debt ceiling. We talked about the debt ceiling in the last episode with the platinum coin. But now we have President Biden intends to sign a bill raising the debt ceiling for a short term after it passes Congress. The White House said Thursday, quote, the president looks forward to signing legislation to raise the debt limit when it passes by Congress. Okay, we're just saying the same thing over and over again. There's been some confusion earlier in the day when Jean-Pierre called the proposed deal to raise the debt ceiling a positive step, but would not answer directly when asked if Biden would sign the bill. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer finalized an agreement Thursday afternoon to hold up to 4 hours of debate on the bill. Those 4 hours will be followed by a procedural vote at 7:30 p.m., which will require 60 votes to end debate on the legislation. Under the agreement, the debt ceiling would be increased by $480 billion, and Congress would need to act again in early December. Wow. This is, and I think there was this is it right here. Okay, this is the one I wanted to point out from this article. The White House indicated on Wednesday that the short-term bill was not ideal, with Press Secretary Jen Psaki saying they didn't want to, quote, kick the can on the debt ceiling. I thought that was interesting because the entire thing is to kick the can down the road further.
That is the entire practice. It is the very foundational principle of the debt ceiling.
The debt ceiling, to kick the can down. So she used the phrase as a way of saying, "Oh, we don't want to do that on the debt ceiling." It's like, no, that is the thing that you do. The debt ceiling.
The very atoms that make up the matter that is the debt ceiling is essentially categorically kicking the can down the road.
This is great. I loved it.
Too perfect for her to say that.
I know. They probably told her too, like, yeah, you should just say, we don't want to kick the can down the road. And then all the elite are laughing in the background while Jen Psaki makes a fool out of herself. Poor lady.
That is the sinister part about it, isn't it? Is because, again, the very nature of the debt ceiling is a perpetual kicking the can down the road. And yet the language is it's not kicking the can down the road. The sinister part is that it is sort of a double speak mind control.
Yeah.
Don't believe your eyes. Don't believe your own mind. It's a reality questioning statement that she said.
Yeah. And it's also interesting because they're saying, we got to do something in December. Like, man, what? Dude, 2 months? You got to do it again? Like, what do you think is going to be accomplished in the 2 months between now and December?
I almost hate even covering this debt ceiling thing because
I'm sorry.
It happens every single administration. Every 4 years they do this.
Yes.
So, anywho, but yes, I mean, it's a good thing to point out. So ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't you land the plane with the Kamala? Let me. Well, you start it, and I'll find the Kamala jingle here. So go for it.
Yeah. Sounds good. So this, oopsies. Oh no.
Your
bad
universe
timing.
fell
My
apart.
universe just. Oh no. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. So I was picking up my VR handset here so I could read the story, and I pressed the button, and it launched the screen like 10 miles away from me. In the distance, in my VR office, I have like mountains and birds flying by, and when I grabbed this, it like flung the window out to the top of the mountain 10 miles away.
Okay, here's Kamala.
Right.
Kamala. She comes and goes. She comes and goes.
Yeah.
So this is coming from MSN. It's mirrored by The Atlantic, which it's been a while since we've checked in with them. And the headline is Kamala Harris might have to stop the steal.
What?
What is this?
No, come on.
Kamala Harris has to stop the steal. For a few hours inside the ransacked Capitol on January 6th, the then Vice President Mike Pence helped to preserve the democratic order by insisting that he was powerless to change the outcome of the election. On January 6, 2025, that responsibility could fall to Vice President Kamala Harris. But the task of preventing a stolen presidential election won't be that simple. What? What? The first sentence, the first two sentences, rather.
They are such trolls over there at the Atlantic. There's no way.
They have loaded the gun.
Come on.
Inferring that the 2024 election will be stolen by Trump and Kamala Harris has to prevent it. The nightmare scenarios. I know, it's crazy. The nightmare scenarios that most frighten election observers heading toward 2024 all culminate in a quadrennial joint session of Congress, the same formal meeting that rioters interrupted in their failed bid to keep Donald Trump in the White House earlier this year. What scares them, however, is not necessarily a reprise of that violent day. They fear a bloodless coup that begins in state capitals, wins the blessing of conservatives atop the courts, and then secures the decisive votes of Trump supporting Republicans in Congress. The risk of an even worse crisis is greater in 2024. These election experts, because Trump supporters are likely to be far better positioned than they were in 2020. Quote, "Our democracy is in great peril today." Norm Eisen, a prominent Democratic lawyer who co-founded the nonpartisan States United Democracy Center, told me, "We're in a Weimar moment in America."
Gosh.
In America. A Weimar moment, referring to the Weimar Republic. Is that what it was?
I think so. Yeah.
That was the former German name of the before Germany was Germany. Should Trump or his acolytes try to subvert the 2024 election, the last Democrat. Should Trump or his acolytes try to subvert the 2024 election, the last Democrat with any power to stop the steal, or at least try to, would be Harris. She's certainly going to have quite a job on her hands on January 6, 2025. Lawrence Tribe, a Harvard law professor and liberal constitutional scholar, told me. 9 months ago, Tribe and other Democrats praised Pence for interpreting his authority narrowly. But the next time around, they might ask Harris to wield the same gavel more forcefully. Whether the vice president has any substantive role in then it kind of goes into like the details of the law, whether or not. So the big thing, as we know, was Trump wanted Pence to stop the steal, to not certify election results, and Pence, in his mind, was doing the right thing by, recognizing, I'm just sort of a formality here. I don't have any power. I can't stop what the votes say.
He was a traitor, Basil.
He was a Trump traitor.
He turned his back on the president on 45.
Trump wanted Pence to reject certificates.
He betrayed all Americans that day.
And they go through, and it's these liberal scholars who make this whole point about, well, actually, the vice president can stop the steal. Pence could have done what Trump wanted him to do, which is an interesting turn of events from what we've been hearing for a year and almost a year, I guess. But they make this big point. Now, I'm skipping some for time's sake, but they take a lot of time to sort of say that, well, actually, Trump could have done this, and that's important because Kamala might need to do it in 2024.
This is a very long article, too.
It's very long, so I'm just kind of reviewing it. And they go through this, they basically go through this extremely weird roundabout way of how Trump might try to steal the election through Republicans taking power in the midterms and doing all this stuff. And you know what? I'll even save us all the pain. The point of this is that Democratic lawyers are calling for Kamala to do what Pence didn't, which is if Trump wins the election in 2024, they are calling for Kamala to stop the steal, which is the sprout of a seed that was planted a while back where, Republicans are planning on stealing the next election, which is hilarious. I mean, it's a hilarious gaffe, what The Atlantic is doing here. It's a conspiracy theory. These are the seeds of a conspiracy theory being planted by liberals in The Atlantic, getting ready to do exactly what they lambast Republicans for doing, which is questioning the results of elections. And they've talked about Trump. Trump's kind of going around teasing, but he keeps saying like, "Oh, they stole the last election. They're going to try to steal the next election." And Democrats for a long time have been like, "Oh, this is conspiracy theory. They're crazy. They're crazy. They're conspiracy theorists. They're extremists. They're this. They're this." And now The Atlantic, with these high-level Democratic lawyers, are coming out and saying, "Oh, well, we might as well play this same game. The Republicans are planning on stealing the election." And they're laying down the groundwork to have Kamala Harris pull this crazy move on January 6, 2025, I guess would be the time, where they're basically expecting the Republicans to win. They know that the Republicans have a lead in the midterms. Republicans are the pendulum is swinging back the other direction, and they're already preparing to have this incredible upset where Kamala refuses to certify the votes in 2025. It is hilarious for a couple of reasons. I mean, for the obvious reasons, but it's also fun because it's, again, the transparent hypocrisy we've been talking about all episode, where it's very transparent and the hypocrisy is blatant what they're doing here, setting up a conspiracy theory to try to gain public support for Kamala Harris to reject the Trump win in 2025. It shows that they're afraid. And, I mean, I don't know if there is an and. Are you following, Gons?
I am. Yeah, time is of the essence here. But I think it's, if you paid attention to before the year of the election, so like 2019-ish, there was a lot of talk about like how Trump was going to try to steal the election then. So this is just on hyperdrive, but it's interesting because they have that extra step of Kamala's role in how she could prevent a steal, which happens to be the same thing that Trump asked Pence to do, which is the extra twist to everything.
I will say people should go read this article. It'll be in our sources we send out on Monday. And it's not just about the election either. They're also talking about this bloodless coup where Republicans gain the majority in the houses and then pull some sort of fantastical political stunt, which is literally like Q stuff. They're talking about Q-level government takeover that Kamala Harris is going to have to stop. And it ends with this last paragraph, and then we can end the show, which is, yet what pushes that urgency into something close to panic is a recognition that the public is not paying enough attention, that Congress is not acting, that the moment of crisis is the present rather than the future. Quote, the failure to modernize federal law will allow this cancer to continue to creep through the system. Yeah, that's another part of the article I didn't really go over, but it talks about how Democrats need to change the law so Trump doesn't win. We all know how it turned out for Weimar, Eisen said, and we may face the hypothetical, the worst case scenario where it's only the vice president standing between totalitarianism and us.
That's projection.
Between a bloodless coup
it's the Saul Alinsky projection method.
It is exactly that. It is this I am what I say you are projection, crazy psychological nonsense that they're trying to pull on everybody. So it gets into the electoral college and stuff like that. Very interesting, but I think the meta-analysis is they are planting the seeds to pull some sort of crazy Q conspiracy Democrat style in 2025.
We'll see what happens, especially since producer Emily T was saying that it looks like a lot of the Q people, at least on the internet, have moved on to the who's the guy who passed away recently? Why am I blanking on his name? John McAfee. His Telegram or something is doing a lot of drops and unsealings and stuff like that. So we'll see. It's always kind of somewhere. They're always working.
Yeah, that's been floating around. We'll see if anything actually happens. But okay. All right. Well, is that a show? Did we do it?
It is. We got to go. All right. Okay. I got to go. I got some got a thing.
Let's get you out of here.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, hold on a second.
Whoa,
I was about to get out.
I was like, sweet.
Quick.
Let's get out. Let's do this.
Okay, I will make it fast though. We're gonna be back on Monday. Monday is October 11th.
10/11.
Be here, folks. Yes, 10/11. And that'll be episode 400. Woo!
Yeah.
There we go. It'll be fun. And so be here for this momentous occasion, but we'll keep going. Don't worry. And remember, you can become a producer of episode 400. Have you been enjoying the show? Have you been getting value out of what we do? How long have you been getting value out of what we do? Well, consider putting a number on it and becoming a producer of the show. Producing for episode 400 would be an exciting way to do it. And you can do that by heading over to patreon.com/CCNT, or even better, head on over to CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
CanaryCry.Radio.com/support.
That's right. Go on over there, become a producer of the show. And I want to thank producers for this episode of Canary Cry News Talk, episode 399, First of all, by thanking our executive producer for this episode, and that is producer Derek R. Thank you very much, Derek R. But also a big thank you to producers Douglas P., Rochelle, Aaron J., Arnold W., Liz D., Veronica D., Juan A., Ethan N., Sean D., Heather S., Moore of Sir Casey the Shield Knight, Mark D., Dominic R., J.C., Child of God, Sir Samuels the Knight of the Fishes, Malik, Scott K., Gail M., Dr. Whodundat, Brant W., Runk Smash, and Ciara. And of course, thank you to all of our artists, our jingle makers, our time stampers, all the producers, the international team of producers that make this show happen. And you could be one of them for next episode. Is what's the value you've gotten out of the show? Put a number on it. Become a producer. Now, there's other ways you can produce the show. It comes in many different forms. But if you're a creative person, if you're a musician or a jingle maker or an artist or whatever, go ahead, create something for the show, by the show. We'll feature it on the show. We love doing that. You can send that over to CanaryCry.Radio@gmail.com or CanaryCry.Radio@protonmail.com. And remember to hit up CanaryCryMeetups.com. See if there's any meetups near you. If there's not, put on your own meetup. It's easy. The instructions are there. Let us know. We'll tell the world about it. But other than that, make sure to leave ratings and reviews, of course. It helps out the show quite a bit, and I'm honor-bound to read them on the show. Thank you very much for everyone who did that. And you can share the show. Share it out on your social media. Hit that little share button. Share it. Shout it from the rooftops. You can even get more creative with it. Maybe you're a congressperson, or maybe you're in local government, whatever the case may be. Write a bill. Anybody can write a bill. This is America. You can go ahead, write it down. Just while you're writing the bill, go ahead and play Canary Cry News Talk and make the bill something to the effect of, and it doesn't have to be in these exact words, but something like, henceforth, in this land shall be Canary Cry News Talk will be played on every news station every day. Thus it is written, therefore shall it be. And I'm sure that'll pass. I mean, who's not going to get on board with that? That's a bipartisan bill.
We need Lord Farquhar.
That is a bipartisan agenda if I've ever heard of it. And that'll get you some news coverage as well, I don't know. There's Canary Cry politicians out there somewhere. Anywho, that's just one way that you could do it. But other than that, send it to your friends, send it to your family. They will thank you. And if you need any, we like to call it rattling cages. And if you need any more instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to him, you grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted. I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! Don't ever silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, any last words?
You'll hear rumors, or wars and rumors of wars, but don't be alarmed. These things must happen, but the end is not yet.
Oh, not yet, folks. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Keep yapping, man. Boy, it's really a productive segment, man. Come on, man. State minority. This is not about freedom or personal choice. Anytime. 120 days. Give me a break. I wrote the bill. Feed him more. Get vaccinated. Spike facts. Da 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 da.
Remember, reality is an illusion.
shake things up, shake things up. I wanna shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird alone. I wanna stir up some controversy. I wanna rattle a few cages. I wanna rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Little guy. Little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
I'll keep you safe and warm in my people's zoo.
Aliens.
I'll keep you safe and warm down in my people's zoo.
I do it with everything.
You, yeah, you in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on.
Under arrest for crimes against science.
State and federal health officials.
Sue your freedom. Are you no woke? Come on, man. Get the data. Get the data. Get the data.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo.
Vaccinations.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo.
I'm getting a very good feeling about vaccination right this moment.
In my people's zoo.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths.